This was an offer I couldn't resist, and I paid just £600 for it. Do I need another project? Do I need another car? Right, this is how much has come out, but you can see there's just a dribble of oil. There should be 7 litres, 6-7 litres in there. So, big question is, does it move? We're in drive, I felt something. Oh, yes! Unfortunately, I did have it back up on the ramp, and there's just a corner of the sump pan that is just leaking slightly, so I'm gonna have to just take that off another time and redo that. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the cheapest Range Rover TDV8 L322 in the country. Or so I thought. Now, when I first bought this, I started having a look at videos online, and there always seemed to be somebody claiming that they've bought the cheapest TDV8 L322 in the country. But when I paid just £600 for this, I thought to myself, no, this one has got to be the cheapest. And literally, the day after I filmed my first video on this, somebody else went and paid £380 for one, I think it was. I'll leave his YouTube channel in the description or just up here somewhere. And there was somebody else as well that had one for maybe £1,600. And again, I'll leave all their details. I'll even tag them in this video, and maybe we can meet up and compare which one of ours is the worst or the best. So obviously you saw on the last video, this was basically a running but not driving car, and it had literally no gearbox oil in there. Apparently he said there was a crack in the sump, which I couldn't find, and there was a few things that just didn't really add up about this car. And you know, it's done 83,000 miles, seems to be in great condition, but something just weren't adding up, and I'm still yet to find out, because all I've done is put a new gearbox sump, new filter, new oil in, and at the minute we're driving and we are on our way to the MOT centre. So I'm hoping it'll pass. I'm hoping it'll even get there. I'll be honest, I'm a bit nervous about driving this on the road at the minute. I've got my trade plates on, don't worry. It's all insured. Can't tax it until it's MOT'd. But so far, first impressions, because as a mechanic, I've always sort of steered away from these Range Rovers because they've got a bad reputation of being unreliable, expensive to fix, difficult to work on. I used to work for the AA many years ago, and people used to ask me, what's the most unreliable car you'd go out to? Range Rover. Maybe some of the newer ones, if I'm honest. They've got so much technology on them, it's unreal. First impressions on this, once you start driving it's just so comfortable. This version, the V8, it's got loads of oomph, which I haven't even put my foot down yet because, yeah, I just want to get to the MOT centre in one piece. But yeah, it's comfortable. You know, I like the driving position. At the minute, there's no knocks and bangs anywhere. I'm hoping I've got a good one. The MOT place should bring up a few faults. Well, I hope not, but if there are any, he should spot them. And I want it to be a nice, as it always is, good, thorough MOT. And that's why I take it to this particular station, because I don't want a dangerous car on the road. And today is Saturday, and this is probably the quickest project car I've turned around and got fixed, because Mrs. Curbside wants to go to Plymouth on Wednesday. So we're going to go see my family, and she said, I want to take the Range Rover. I want to drive down in comfort. So happy wife, happy life. So hopefully, fingers crossed, this is sorted. I will be doing a walk around video on everything that's wrong with the car and giving it a good service before we go as well. I've already just put a battery in. Original battery wasn't taking charge, and it was the original battery, or at least it was changed for an original battery at some point. And unfortunately, the guy has lost the service history for this. Although there is a local specialist that used to go to, so I might ring them up and see what service history they've got. But the engine sounds smooth as anything, it really does. So I'm confident that it's been well looked after. There's no leaks from the engine side under this as well. It's bone dry. But yeah, it's very comfortable. So I'm going to enjoy the rest of my drive to the MOT station, and then I'll see you with the results. Wish me luck. Well, I've not got to the MOT centre, and I nearly didn't. So I was just driving here, minding my own business, and I see blue lights flashing in the distance. I've moved on a little bit, pulled over, and he's pulled in behind me. So, oh, come on, man. I'm literally going to be at the MOT centre in 2 minutes. Really nice guy, actually, to be honest. He pulled me over and he said, oh, sorry, I couldn't see your front trade plate. But he goes, obviously it's in there. Just make it more visible for me. He said he's run a check on the car, no tax, no MOT, blah, blah, blah. So I said, yeah, it's literally on the way there now, mate. And he let me go, like, pretty much instantly. So, yeah, you could tell I weren't messing around. So, yeah, right. MOT centre, let's go. You're not going to believe this. I got probably half a mile down the road and got pulled over again by a different copper. Literally, I think I drove half a mile before getting pulled over. So he's pulled in behind me. I've stuck my head out the window. I was just shouting to him, no tax, no MOT. Yep, okay, mate. And he came over with his stern look, and he's seen the camera mounted. I've just gone, look, mate, I've literally been pulled over 30 seconds ago. And he goes, oh, I thought that might be the case, but it wasn't coming up. Or I couldn't get across to anybody or something, he said. And again, he was all right. He just let me go. He could obviously see, I don't know, do I have just an honest face, maybe? I've got my trade plates on. I don't know. But, yeah, so it's getting MOT'd now, and I'll be able to tax it. And then hopefully I won't have any more problems going back. Right, that's the MOT done. And who wants to guess at if it failed, or what it failed on, or if it passed, but how many advisories did I get? Well, the answer is absolutely none. I can't believe it. I genuinely can't believe it. I thought he'd bring up something. I told them to be extremely thorough with it, because the more things that are wrong with it, the more things that I can fix, and it'll make better content. So, but yeah, shout out to the MOT Centre in High Wycombe. Always bring my cars here, because I know it's just going to be a very thorough, honest job. So yeah, shout out to them guys and Steve, the MOT tester. So yeah, it's on the way back to the unit now. How many times are we going to get pulled over? I mean, I've got an MOT now. I just need to get back and tax it. It's already on the insurance. So yeah, that's it. All good. And the gearbox repair I done has worked, so that's not leaking. Right, see you back at the unit. Right, now we are back at the unit, and yeah, I don't know what to say. On one hand, I would have liked it to either maybe not fail, but have a lot more advisories. But that doesn't mean there isn't anything quite wrong with this car. There are a few niggles that we've got to sort out. So let's go over those first. In general, starting with the bodywork, it is absolutely straight. The paint is, I mean, I'd like to think the paint is nice. I haven't had it washed yet, but we've got a really annoying little car park ding there, so that needs sorting. The windscreen wipers, although they do clear, this one makes a bit of a sound when you wipe it. Moving around the front, the headlights, they are just a bit worn out. You know, they project the light really well, but yeah, they just could do with a bit of a polish up, I guess. Just a little bit faded. Front number plate, yeah, that could do with a new one, although it's, you know, perfectly usable. Little bit of a mark here. I think I made this mark when we was pushing this in when it had no drive, so we pushed this in with my mate's Land Rover. I really don't like these chrome mirrors either. I mean, that's not necessarily something wrong. Are they just covers someone's stuck on? I'm not quite sure, but they don't look the best. They look a bit cheap, and that goes with these door handles as well. I just think they look a bit crap. And the worst bit of body work is this big scratch down here, which goes into a little dent here, and then yeah, you just see it all down the arch here, so that's not great. This keeps falling out, this rubber piece. So yeah, let's try and get that back in there. Bit of rust building up on the edge there, but nothing a bit of rust treatment won't cure. The actual arches themselves are really solid. And also what I found is the rear wiper intermittently doesn't work. So we've got to get to the bottom of that. And in generally, it is just really, really filthy where it's been sat around for 2 years. It's starting to grow trees in some places. And then also these steps, they're solid, but they could probably, I mean, this side's all right actually, but I mean, they're a little bit rusty, but they are solid. So maybe that just needs a little bit of an attention. Right, we'll come to the interior, which is generally quite clean, a little bit grubby, needs a good deep clean. And you can't smell in here, but it does smell a little bit damp. The headlining is all okay, that's not sagging, so that's good. If we come round to the boot, sometimes this drops if it's about, okay, it's not doing it now. Oh, there it goes. Yeah, if you haven't got it all the way up, it does fall down. So yeah, we've got to sort that out. This has just popped out. This is popped out for the first time. That's obviously not staying in there. That's probably broken, a clip on there. And I do think at some point there's been some water ingress into the boot, and this is where the dampness is coming from. You can see the rust around here. But if we actually go into the boot, there's no sitting water anywhere, so that's good. Yeah, all pretty good in there, albeit just needing a bit of a clean. Those are the original plates. Ah yes, the rear plate is just held on with some magnets at the minute. Now this is a bit weird because when I went to go see the car, obviously it was, he said it was sat around for 2 years. Now previously we've bought a Land Rover, free Land Rover off of him, and my mate doesn't recall this being in the spot that he said it had been sat for 2 years. So that was a first sort of alarm bell ringing. And then when I got my mate to go pick this up on his trailer, he'd already, the guy had already taken off the number plates for some weird reason. And when I asked about it the next day when I went to go pick the logbook up, he said, oh, you know, people see that on a trailer and have a look at the number plate and they'll want to steal it. Okay. So, yeah, this is just held on with sticky tape, or normally was held on with sticky tape, or you've got 2 holes in here which hold sort of plastic bungs, I guess, if you want to say, and then it screws into that, so that needs addressing. And if we come to the bonnet area, all looks quite well in here. And then if you just want to work in the car, oh, no you can't, because the struts are gone. So yes, the struts needed seeing to. So now we are just going to give it a bit of a service. Let's get it inside the workshop and change out the air filter, fuel filter, get the oil done. Should there be covers here? L322 owners, let me know. One here one over the battery, should there be covers. I'd imagine there should be. Right, there she is. We've got the diesel heater going because it is absolutely freezing in here. Right, let's get this bonnet open and I'll show you a little tip to keep the bonnet open if your struts are weak. So all you have to do is get some form of vice grip. Doesn't have to be tight, just enough there. Right, I've picked the parts up from our friends at GSF Car Parts. So as you can see, we've got nice MAN filters, some Comma oil, and they've kindly given you guys a discount code. So if you guys want to go and grab any bits from GSF online, stick the discount code Kirby20 and you get 20% off. So yeah, let's go. Let's get this air filter done first, I think. Box comes off and then we'll see the state of this filter. So we'll see the state of some of these filters, see if we can see anything, but I do believe it's been looked after just by the way it runs and drives. So yeah, let's get this filter out and have a look. Right, that is the filter out. It's just held on with two 10mm there, load of push fit clips. The 10mm go into this bracket. There's a little sensor underneath that goes up here. All I'm going to do is drain. Oh, light's gone off. Drain the fuel. Right, in order to get the fuel filter off, it's got to come through this plastic ring, which is very tight. But that just basically screws on and off. But you've got to put the filter through that first. So I haven't got my mount with me today. So that just slips over like that. And then you can put the fuel filter into the housing. Right, that's that back together now. Fuel filter's in. Hopefully that doesn't leak. I think I've got it in correctly. If I'm right, the pollen filter is under here. I can do this one-handed. Maybe not. 1 second. Nah, yeah, there we go. It just folds up. Yeah, as suspected. Dirty. Yeet! Now, in this day and age, where pollen filters are all tucked up under the dashboard, you've got to turn yourself into some sort of contortion artist. This is an absolute dream. Just slots in, presses down, job done. I don't know why I gave all these Range Rovers such hate, to be honest. So far, my experience with my own one has been a good one. I don't want to speak too soon, but it's all looking good. Let's get this engine cover off, get the oil filter out, then we'll raise the car up in the air, drain all the oil, and that'll pretty much be it. All that's left would be a nice good clean. Right, oil filter is just underneath this cover, 32mm socket. And also, I mean, have I got the absolute steal of the century with this car? I'm pretty sure I have, because it just keeps surprising me, to be honest. The engine bay, there's not a single leak anywhere. It is absolutely immaculate. Really is immaculate. Yeah, I think it's been well maintained. Right, a little Kirby's top tip here. Once you've changed the air filter and the pollen filter, don't throw them to the side like I did. But once you've getting your oil filter out, you can lift it up and onto the filters. So, you know, you're not having to drip it all over the engine bay or run and grab a cloth. So yeah, and it just soaks into the filters. There we go. And let's have a look at this filter. That is a very good looking filter. I'd suspect it's a MAN filter if I clean that up, because we've had a MAN fuel filter, we've had a MAN air filter, we had a MAN pollen filter. It'd be silly why it wouldn't have been this, but normally if these are or haven't been changed for a while, all these fins start to sort of close up on themselves and they've just absorbed too much oil and just crap. So this oil filter is looking in very good condition. There we go. Nice MAN filter. We've changed the O-ring on there as well. Pop that in, twist it in, job done. Right, this is the first time I've serviced one of these TDV8s, to be honest. And come have a look at this. This is nonsense. Have a look. So we've got a little bit of oil under here, but really not that bad. I mean, it's dry everywhere above it, so it could just be where it's drained before, because that's the that's the drain plug, and that's the subframe directly under it. What kind of nonsense is that? That is ridiculous. Make it make sense. So this is probably gonna get a little bit messy. I made a right mess of this oil change. So I undone the sump plug, and then it spurted out all onto the subframe, and then I was holding the tray up here, but then it got too heavy, so I went to go put it down. Oh, and it just went bloody everywhere, so I'm gonna have to... Luckily I've already got granules here. We'll just let that drain off now. Now I must confess, like I said, this is the first time I've serviced one of these Range Rover TDV8s. And that first sump plug I was showing you, I undone it and not a lot of oil came out, and I was like, oh, that's weird. Quick, put it back in. And then as I was doing that from this sort of angle, that is when I've seen the drain plug up here, and I thought, oh no, have I drained something else out? But when I looked in the pan, I was like, that's definitely engine oil. I've just done a quick bit of research, and there's 2 drain plugs on this for some reason, even though barely any came out that back one. Should I be worried about that? Should more come out? But yeah, that looks like it's all drained now, so we're going to put the sump plugs back in, fill it with oil, and we are done. We've just got to reset the service light. Yeah, ready for the big drive on Wednesday. Right, that's it. Oil was in, 9.5 litres. We're back on the ground, and there we go, all running. I didn't even have to, well, there isn't an option to prime it on the computer, so just a few turns of the ignition, fired straight up, and yeah, sounds just as good as it did before. That's it, service lights all reset, and the piece de resistance, the little curbside air freshener. Perfect. Right, that is it for the day, and that is where I'm going to leave this video, and let's see if it gets us over 200 miles to Plymouth and 200 miles back. I think we're going to be doing about 500-600 miles in this, hopefully, in this Range Rover. And then I need to decide what I'm going to do with it, because I might keep it for a little bit, run it around, and then obviously get all the bits that I mentioned before done. Or do I just flip it? I'd imagine, I'm not quite sure what these are worth, but now it's up and running, get a few of these little issues sorted, I think I could be into a tidy little profit. But I am enjoying driving it, so I'm not too sure. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you've liked this series, please drop a like and a comment, and of course a follow or a subscribe. And yeah, we will see you on the next one.